talk about some of the polls. Right now, you got 538.com. They updated this August 26, 2021, and I think there's like 2 or 3 brand new polls, and then they compare and contrast to all of the other polls in the past. And so, in the very beginning, do Californians want to remove Gavin Newsom from office? And this here says August 26, 50.6% says keep, 46.3% says to remove. And this graph here says that they've always wanted to keep. Keep has always beaten remove, even though it got real close from August 3rd there to August 10th or so. But keep has always been above remove, even though it got, very, very close. And right now it's, 4 percentage points. 50.6% of California says they're going to keep Gavin Newsom, and then 46.3% says that they are not. Now, you have all these different pollsters, and I'll just actually read the different polls because all of them have keep winning except for one. August 2nd to the 4th has him losing. It has him losing by 11 points. It has him losing by 11 points. Okay, so you have, let's see, the Change Research sample size of more than 1,000. 54% say keep, 40% say remove. Then you have Emerson College poll, 48% say keep, 43% say remove. University of California, Berkeley, 50% say keep, 47% say remove. So that's a difference of 3%. Keep, 51 to 44, Core Decision Analytics, 48 to 46, Emerson College, and then 40 to 51, Survey USA. Survey USA says that Gavin Newsom is going to lose by 51%. More than 50% of California want to see Gavin Newsom thrown to the damn curb. Now, 40% of that wanted him to stay. So that means that's 11% difference. That's almost like 51%. That's not just beating, the majority, but 40%, that's 11 points. That's a 20 point is, they say a 20 point is a blowout. So 11 points, it's, half a blowout. So he's not just losing by a little bit, he's losing by a shit ton. And then you got the YouGov, 52 to 48, and then you got the Change Research, 57 to 42. So that's, a 12-point keep, 4-point keep, 11-point remove, 3-point keep, 7-point keep, 3-point keep, 5-point keep, 14-point keep. So you have Gavin Newsom won 2 times big time, right, by 14 points, by 15 points, and he lost 1 big time by 11 points. So which one is going to win? Who knows? Who knows? It seems like if you were just to look at the data, Gavin Newsom's going to win. Gavin Newsom is going to win by just the skin of his chinny chin chin, right? Just by the skin of his chinny chin chin, by maybe 4 percentage points. That's what it looks like the data suggests. But polls have been wrong, and the fact that this one Survey USA has him not just losing, but getting blown out. Now, the sample size is the smallest sample size. Out of all these groups, they only did 613 compared to 782, 1,534, 2,783. The University of California, Berkeley poll had 2,783. So that's the biggest sample size, and that has him winning by 3 percentage points. So what does all that mean? What does all that mean? That means he's still afloat, but just barely. He's not underwater yet, but there's still 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks to, the 14th, so still 2 more weeks and a couple more days before the final results come in. Now, who would Californians want to replace Gavin Newsom as governor? Who do you think it is? Who do you think it is? Number 1, Larry Elder, 21%. Kevin Paffrath is 8%, and then Cox is 5%. So Kevin Paffrath, he's a right-wing Democrat who has 8%. A YouTuber, Cox, is a Republican, has 5%. He's got some nice white hair, but Cox is big old douchebag. Paffrath, he's running as a Democrat. So he's actually a little bit more savvy than, I think Larry Elder has the Republican nomination. The Republicans are going to back Elder. Now it depends on, will the Democrats back Elder, but Elder is the conservative choice, the conservative Republican choice. Now Kevin Rath, he's got 8%, so he might shock all of us, and then Cox has 5%, but compared to 21%, my God, he's, beating them by 13, 14 points. And that's not the only time he's winning by 13, 14 points. In fact, every goddamn motherfucking poll has Larry Elder beating the shit out of everybody. The University of California Berkeley poll has him up 4 points, 7 points. They say adjusted leader. I'm not for sure what the leader is and then the adjusted leader. But you have, 682, 1,000, 5,795. These are the sample sizes, 731, 1,543, or 545, 1,534, and then 782. And out of all those, that's 4 different polls. Out of those 4 different polls, you have, Cox in the very beginning won by 12 points. And then Rath won Survey USA, which is the anomaly, right, from before to the one that says remove. But Survey USA says that Rath won. So there's one poll where Kevin Rath had won by 4 points. The adjusted says that it was a tie. Cox won by 12 points. But this is back in June. So since June, I think Larry Elder has pushed Cox completely. I don't see how the hell Cox is just, he's too boring and stupid, and I don't see California going for Cox. Larry Elder, so okay, Cox took the first one, but the Emerson College poll, Elder's going to win by 10 points. University of California, Elder by 4. And I'll just say the leader, not the adjusted leader. The core decision analytics, Elder is +6. Emerson College poll, Elder is +15. Survey USA Rath is +4, YouGov, Elder is +10, and then Change Research, Elder is +21. And that's August 22nd to the 25th, so that is the most recent one. The most recent poll has Larry Elder up by 21 motherfucking points. So let's review. Let's see, Cox was up 12 points, and Elder was up 10 points. Elder up 4 points, Elder up 6 points, Elder up 15 points. Rath is up by 4 points. Then Elder comes back up by 10 points, and then Elder comes up by 21 points. So Elder beats the shit out of everybody, over and over again. Now, he's the Republican, so I think that Rath actually has a good sense, that the California isn't going to vote for a Republican, that will vote for a Democrat. So Rath is very right-wing. He's a corporatist. He's a stock market broker. He's a landlord. He's a right-wing. He's a Dino. He's a Democrat in name only. He's a neoliberal. But he won one, and even though Cox won one, I don't think he has any chance at all. Rath has a chance. He has, a presence on the internet. He gets like 10,000 fucking views every time he posts his, his videos now. So he's got the voice, and he can talk directly to the people, and he's, and then Larry Elder, he's, he's doing the same thing really with YouTube, but Larry Elder has just an incredible fucking YouTube network. He just knows everybody and anybody. Who else? There's somebody that, let's see, he knows Dave Rubin, Candace Owens, Sean Hannity. There's somebody else that I was like, damn, him too? Larry Elder, Glenn Beck. Let's listen to some Larry Elder on Glenn Beck.
Another percentage of them, I don't know how many, I think it's relatively small, are people that just don't want to work. And if you just don't want to work, either you're going to go to jail as a vagrant or you're going to get a job. And the rest of them, probably the bulk of them, are people who have mental problems or who have drug problems. They, too, need to be treated. Now, what we've done in California is passed something called Proposition 47. I think the voters were duped into doing it. And the idea was that some people who are stealing in order to support their meth habit or their heroin habit. And so we passed a law that says if you steal under $950, you don't go to jail. You're not a felon. You've committed a misdemeanor. You get a ticket if you get caught. Well, what the Sheriff of LA County tells me, his name is Alex Villanueva, one of the people that I interviewed before I got pulled off the radio because of my FCC requirement running for office. He said, they've taken away our stick. You have somebody on the street who's stealing in order to support the meth habit, and we can't say either you dry out in jail or you dry out in rehab, one or the other.
Here's some Gavin Newsom.
High-speed rail.
This is the current. He wants to talk about high-speed rail, and he's being such a stinker about it. February 12th, 2019. It's time for us to talk about some high-speed rail. I think this is when he first got elected. So he wants some high-speed rail. Let's talk about high-speed rail. What do you think about some high-speed rail, Gavin Newsom?
You know, I have nothing but respect for Governor Brown and Governor Schwarzenegger's vision. I share it. And there's no doubt that our state's economy and quality of life depend on improving transportation. But let's be real. The current project, as planned, would cost too much and respectfully take too long. There's been too little oversight and not enough transparency. Right now, there simply isn't a path to get from Sacramento to San Diego, let alone from San Francisco to LA. I wish there were. However, we do have the capacity to complete a high-speed rail link between Merced and Bakersfield. Now, I know some critics are going to say, well, that's a train to nowhere. But I think that's wrong, and I think that's offensive. The people of the Central Valley endure the worst air pollution in America and have some of the longest commutes in this state. And they have suffered too many years of neglect from policymakers, respectfully, here in Sacramento. They deserve better. And the high-speed rail project can be part of that. Look, you can't say this enough. The high-speed rail is more than a train project. It's about economic transformation. It's about unlocking the enormous potential of
economic. I hate when people say economic. You're not, well, you're an economics professor.
We can, however, build important work that's already been done. That's why I do support a single tunnel. The status quo is not an option. We need to protect our water supply from earthquakes, from rising sea levels. We need to preserve delta fisheries, and we need to meet the needs of cities and farms. We have got to get past these old binaries, like farmers versus environmentalists, the north versus south. Our approach can't be either or. It has to be yes and. Conveyance and efficiency. And recycling projects, like the ones we're seeing in Southern California's Met Water District, expanding floodplains in the Central Valley, and groundwater recharge like farmers are already doing in Fresno County. A portfolio approach to building water infrastructure and meeting long-term demand. And to help bring this balance, I'm appointing a new chair to the California Water Board, Joaquin Esquivel. And his first task
We're going to talk about homelessness.
His first task, our collective effort, must be to cross the finish line on real agreements to save the Sacramento. There's another.
He's been talking about homelessness for 3 years in a row.
Urgent moral issue we must confront. And that's this homelessness epidemic. So many of California's homeless, whether they're families, veterans, victims of rent spikes, or survivors fleeing domestic violence, are invisible and left behind by our society. Too many on the streets are suffering from bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, paranoia, many of them self-medicating with drug or alcohol addictions. And as a consequence, our homeless crisis is increasingly becoming a public health crisis. Last year, we had a hepatitis A outbreak in San Diego. Recently, there was an outbreak of syphilis up in Sonoma, typhus in Los Angeles. Typhus, a medieval disease in California in 2019. I know mayors, I know county supervisors, city councils, all around the state are working hard to reduce homelessness and its underlying causes. But we've got to have their backs. They cannot do it alone.